Hello, here we are. We're going to get started with Numbers 16. So let's go. Korah, son of Izhar. Now listen to this carefully, okay? Because I want you to follow what's happening here, okay? Korah, son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi and certain Reubenites, Dathan and Abiram, sons of Eliab, and On, O-N, the son of Peleth, became insolent. So 3 people became insolent. The first was Korah, K-O-R-A-H. The second 2 were Dathan, which is like Nathan with a D, and Abiram, A-B-I-R-A-M. These 3 became insolent and rose up against Moses. With them were 250 Israelite men, well-known community leaders who'd been appointed members of the council. They came as a group to oppose Moses and Aaron and said to them, "You've gone too far. The whole community is holy, every one of them, and the Lord is with them. Why then do you set yourselves above the Lord's assembly?" Now, how many times have we heard the Lord say that Moses is the one that I'm speaking to face? He's not seeing my face, but he's seeing my form. How many times has the Lord said, "My God, how long will I deal with these people?" Okay, they don't seem to get it. They don't seem to get what I've put in place. And here these people are once again in pride, just like Aaron and Miriam, saying, "Oh, we hear from the Lord too." Now these guys and their pride are coming up and saying, "We're all holy. Why do you set yourselves higher up than all of us?" When Moses heard this, he fell face down. He's thinking, how many times do I have to go through this? Then he said to Korah and all his followers, "In the morning the Lord will show you who belongs to him and who is holy." So I can imagine he said it like this. Excuse me. "In the morning the Lord will show you who belongs to him and who is holy. And he'll have that person come near him. The man he chooses, he'll cause to come near him. You, Korah, and all your followers are to do this. Take censers," those round brass balls that you put incense in that have the holes in them, or whatever theirs looked like, pots, brass pots. "And tomorrow put burning coals and incense in them before the Lord. The man the Lord chooses will be the one who's holy. You Levites have gone too far." So these are Levites coming to him. As it said in the beginning, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi. Moses also said to Korah, "Now listen, you Levites, isn't it enough for you that the God of Israel has separated you from the rest of the Israelite community and brought you near himself to do the work at the Lord's tabernacle and to stand before the community and minister to them?" Listen, guys, if all we do is sweep the church, that's enough. Okay? That's enough. Okay? If that's all we do, that's enough. That's holy unto the Lord. He's brought you and all your fellow Levites near himself, but now you're trying to get the priesthood too. It's against the Lord that you and all your followers have banded together. Who's Aaron that you should grumble against him? In other words, it's the Lord you're grumbling against and the people he's chosen. And he chose Aaron and Aaron's sons to be the priests. Now, from what I understand, the Levites will be a line of priests under Aaron. But let me not go there right now. Let's just take it as it lays here. Right now, they're not, okay? They're serving in the tabernacle, okay? But Aaron and his 2 sons are the priests. So Moses is saying, why grumble about Aaron? It's the Lord that you're grumbling against. Then Moses summoned Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab. But they said, "We will not come." Boy, they're just making it worse, aren't they? "Isn't it enough that you've brought us up out of a land flowing with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness?" So what we're seeing here are persistent lies. And we have those going on in our country today. They're just persistent. They just never, ever stop. We just keep hearing them no matter what. All the Republicans are racist. Now, I'm not Republican or Democrat. I might be registered Republican. I don't think so, though. But, this lie that just persists that every last Republican is a racist, that's a lie that's been persisting for 5 years. And no matter how many times Moses and Aaron Moses, through the Lord, has crushed this lie that he brought them into the wilderness to die, it keeps popping up again. It keeps popping up. And you're going to see how the Lord deals with people who persist in a lie. And I heard something wonderful. A lie can't last and doesn't last forever. Only the truth does. Lies will be destroyed. And I saw something funny today, a Democrat friend. Their memes now are Republican memes with the names changed. She's crazy. She should be, I don't know, I can't think of the one, but it was exactly word for word a Republican meme that's been used over and over about the insanity of some of our Democrat leaders. And they just inserted different names and threw it back at us. And this is what evil people do. It's exactly what they do. It's like, "So are you, but what am I?" That's what it is. That's the kind of fighting it is. Or is that how it goes? "So are you, but what am I?" Or "So am I, but what are you?" Something like that, okay? It's a very childish way of fighting, and it's still in effect. It's amazing to watch supposedly sane adults fight like this. All right, so not to get off track, but they're floating the same lie. You brought us up out of a land flowing with milk and honey, Egypt. That would be like me saying I was having so much fun getting drunk every day and passing out. To kill us in the wilderness, and now you also want to lord it over us. Do you see how crazy these people are? Moreover, you haven't brought us into a land flowing with milk and honey or given us an inheritance of fields and vineyards. Do you want to treat these men like slaves? No, we'll not come. These guys are sealing their fate, just like some of these crazy liberal Democrats are sealing theirs. It isn't going to last forever. Their insanity will not last forever. The Lord will end it. Then Moses became very angry and said to the Lord, "Do not accept their offering. I've not taken so much as a donkey from them, nor have I wronged any of them." Moses said to Korah, "You and all your followers are to appear before the Lord tomorrow, you and they and Aaron. Each man is to take his censer and put incense in it, 250 censers in all, because there's 250 of them with them, and present it before the Lord. You and Aaron are to present your censers also." So each of them took his censer, put burning coals and incense in it, and stood with Moses and Aaron at the entrance to the tent of meeting. When Korah had gathered all his followers in opposition to them at the entrance to the tent of meeting, the glory of the Lord appeared to the entire assembly. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Separate yourselves from this assembly so I can put an end to them at once." And the Lord doesn't change, folks. He's the same yesterday, today, tomorrow, forever. And he's going to do the same thing with these liberal Democrat lies that are being floated about every sane person who wants to protect our children. There's a good word they're using for the people that want to talk to our 4 and 5-year-olds about changing their gender. It's called grooming. They're grooming them, talking to them about their sexuality. It's wrong. It's what's being floated, and it's insanity. And this is what the Lord is going to do. Separate yourselves from this assembly so I can put an end to them at once. It's already happening. We're already seeing their pick, Joe Biden, and what's happening there, but it's going to be more direct. You watch, mark my words. But Moses and Aaron fell face down and cried out, "Oh God, the God who gives breath to all living things, will you be angry with the entire assembly when only one man sins?" Then the Lord said to Moses, "Say to the assembly, move away from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram." Moses got up, and I've just got to say this. I don't know how many of you saw Matt Gaetz trying to enter the receipt for Hunter Biden's laptop from hell into congressional records, and his drilling of the FBI associate director, I think he was, like second in command. It was the most horrible thing I've ever seen. We are being cuckolded by the powers that be, and it's few people like Matt Gaetz that are standing up and holding their feet to the fire. It was terrible. If you get a chance to watch it, watch it. And this is what this reminds me of. Move away from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, because there's going to be particular people singled out for destruction, and we're going to see it. Moses got up and went to Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. He warned the assembly, move back from the tents of these wicked men. Don't touch anything belonging to them, or you'll be swept away because of all their sins. So they moved away from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. Dathan and Abiram had come out and were standing with their wives, children, and little ones at the entrance to their tents. Then Moses said, "This is how you'll know that the Lord has sent me to do all these things and that it was not my idea." First of all, they don't know everything that Moses went through with his wife and her saying, "Here's your circumcision of blood." All the arguments, all the things, all the trials, all the testing to bring Moses to the place to lead the Israelites out. And this is often the truth with enemies. They have no idea what suffering and what price you've paid. They just want to be jealous of you. They're not willing to do the work that you were willing to do. That's why they don't have the position. That's why they weren't chosen for it, okay? Because they don't have that kind of integrity to stay the course, no matter how hard, okay? If these men die a natural death and suffer the fate of all mankind, then the Lord has not sent me. But if the Lord brings about something totally new and the earth opens its mouth and swallows them with everything that belongs to them, and they go down alive into the realm of the dead, then you'll know that these men have treated the Lord with contempt. Contempt means disdainful hatred, like sneering hatred. As soon as he finished saying all this, the ground under them split apart, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them and their households and all those associated with Korah, together with their possessions. They went down alive into the realm of the dead with everything they owned. The earth closed over them, and they perished and were gone from the community. At their cries, all the Israelites around them fled, shouting, "The earth is going to swallow us too." But they had to watch their wives and their kids die for their sin, because they insisted on speaking a lie against the Lord. "You took us out of Egypt, a land of milk and honey, to let us die in this wilderness." That lie has run its course in this assembly. It's been said too many times. Even I'm tired of it, okay? And fire came out from the Lord and consumed the 250 men who were offering the incense. I'm glad, because I was thinking that, why spare them? They were willing to run with the devil. Let them pay the devil's due. Because you know what? The reason I can say that is because I hate liars and I hate lies. I hate having to listen to all Republicans are racists and so is crazy. I'm so sick and tired of it. I'm fed up to here with the lies that America is having to endure. These people are not chosen, folks. They're not chosen, okay? I don't even think they're children of God or ever going to be saved. They are from hell, straight from hell with these lies. That's the devil's children. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell Eleazar, son of Aaron the priest, to remove the censers from the charred remains." So salvage the censers and scatter the coals some distance away, for the censers are holy. The censers of the men who sinned at the cost of their lives. In other words, take what's holy and leave them. The censers of the men who sinned at the cost of their lives. Once again, another example of sin bringing death and hell. Hammer the censers into sheets to overlay the altar, for they were presented before the Lord and have become holy. Let them be a sign to the Israelites. We have a good God. He's trying very hard to help us do right. So Eleazar the priest collected the bronze censers brought by those who'd been burned to death, and he had them hammered out to overlay the altar. Remember, bronze stands the heat better. As the Lord directed him through Moses, this was to remind the Israelites that no one except a descendant of Aaron should come to burn incense before the Lord, or he'd become like Korah and his followers. The next day, the whole Israelite community grumbled against Moses and Aaron. "You've killed the Lord's people," they said. Uh-oh. That spirit is still around. It's still amongst them. But when the assembly gathered in opposition to Moses and Aaron and turned towards the tent of meeting, suddenly the cloud covered it and the glory of the Lord appeared. Then Moses and Aaron went to the front of the tent of meeting, and the Lord said to Moses, "Get away from this assembly so I can put an end to them at once." And they fell face down. Then Moses said to Aaron, "Take your censer, put incense in it, along with burning coals from the altar, and hurry to the assembly to make atonement for them. Wrath has come out from the Lord. The plague has started." So Aaron did as Moses said and ran into the midst of the assembly. So Moses is having mercy and trying to save human beings from the Lord's wrath. The plague had already started among the people, but Aaron offered the incense and made atonement for them. He stood between the living and the dead, and the plague stopped. That's called standing in the gap. But 14,700 people died from the plague, in addition to those who died because of Korah. Then Aaron returned to Moses at the entrance to the tent of meeting, for the plague had stopped. You know, it's just lies. Lies don't last. They're not eternal. The truth is eternal. Lies have an end. So if you want to tell lies, be prepared for your end. All liars will have their part in hell. Okay, Numbers 17. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and get 12 staffs from them, one from the leader of each of their ancestral tribes. Write the name of each man on his staff. On the staff of Levi, write Aaron's name. For there must be one staff for the head of each ancestral tribe. Place them in the tent of meeting in front of the Ark of the Covenant Law, where I meet with you. The staff belonging to the man I choose will sprout, and I'll rid myself of this constant grumbling against you by the Israelites." So Moses spoke to the Israelites, and their leaders gave him 12 staffs, one for the leader of each of their ancestral tribes, and Aaron's staff was among them. Moses placed the staffs before the Lord in the tent of the covenant law. The next day, Moses entered the tent and saw that Aaron's staff, which represented the tribe of Levi, had not only sprouted, but had budded, blossomed, and produced almonds. Then Moses brought out all the staffs from the Lord's presence to all the Israelites. They looked at them, and each of the leaders took his own staff. The Lord said to Moses, "Put back Aaron's staff in front of the Ark of the Covenant Law to be kept as a sign to the rebellious. This will put an end to their grumbling against me so that they will not die." Moses did just as the Lord commanded him. The Israelites said to Moses, "We'll die. We're lost. We are all lost. Anyone who even comes near the tabernacle of the Lord will die." Are we all going to die? Numbers 18. The Lord said to Aaron, "You, your sons, and your family are to bear the responsibility for offenses connected with the sanctuary, and you and your sons alone are to bear the responsibility for offenses connected with the priesthood. Bring your fellow Levites from your ancestral tribe to join you," because remember, Aaron comes from the tribe of Levi as well as Moses, "to join you and assist you when you and your sons minister before the tent of the covenant law." So this is why we say, the Levites are of Aaron, they're the priests, etc. Okay, because eventually Aaron will pass away, the sons will pass away, and it will go on down the line. They are to be responsible to you, the sons, the two sons, Bring your fellow Levites from your ancestral tribe to join you and assist you when you and your sons minister before the tent of the covenant law. They are to be responsible to you and are to perform all the duties of the tent. So they are coming into priestly duties now. But they must not go near the furnishings of the sanctuary or the altar, otherwise both they and you will die. They're to join you and be responsible for the care of the tent of meeting, all the work at the tent, and no one else may come near where you are. You are to be responsible for the care of the sanctuary and the altar, so that my wrath will not fall on the Israelites again. I myself have selected your fellow Levites from among the Israelites as a gift to you, dedicated to the Lord to do the work at the tent of meeting, but only you and your sons may serve as priests in connection with everything at the altar and inside the curtain. Okay, so they're still the priests. The Levites are doing duties, but not priestly. I'm giving you the service of the priesthood as a gift. Anyone else who comes near the sanctuary is to be put to death. Then the Lord said to Aaron, I myself have put you in charge of the offerings presented to me. All the holy offerings the Israelites give me, I give to you and your sons as your portion, your perpetual share. You're to have the part of the most holy offerings that is kept from the fire. From all the gifts they bring me as most holy offerings, whether grain or sin or guilt offerings, that part belongs to you and your sons. Eat it as something most holy. Every male shall eat it. You must regard it as holy. This also is yours. Whatever set aside from the gifts of all wave offerings of the Israelites, I give this to you and your sons and daughters as your perpetual share. Everyone in your household who's ceremonially clean may eat it. I give you all the finest olive oil and all the finest new wine and grain they give the Lord as their first fruit, as the first fruits of their harvest. All the land's first fruits that they bring to the Lord will be yours. So he's now shown the Israelites that he's chosen Aaron, and he's also showing them the portion he's going to get, that the Lord himself is going to bless them magnificently. That everything they bring, a portion of it will go to supporting Aaron and his sons and daughters. Everyone in your household, all the land's first fruits that they bring to the Lord will be yours. Everyone in your household who is ceremonially clean may eat it. Now you can imagine if you were jealous of Aaron, you'd really be jealous that your first fruits are going to be given to Aaron. They're not even going to, go beyond Aaron. They're just going right to Aaron. Everything in Israel that is devoted to the Lord is yours. The first offspring of every womb, both human and animal, that's offered to the Lord is yours. But you must redeem every firstborn son and every firstborn male of unclean animals. When they're a month old, you must redeem them at the redemption price set at 5 shekels of silver according to the sanctuary shekel, which weighs 20 gerahs. But you must not redeem the firstborn of a cow, a sheep, or goat. They are holy. Splash their blood against the altar and burn their fat as a food offering, an aroma pleasing to the Lord. Their meat is to be yours, just as the breast of the wave offering and the right thigh are yours. Aren't those like the best parts? Whatever's set aside from the holy offerings the Israelites present to the Lord, I give to you and your sons and daughters as your perpetual share. Man, this would really be getting the goat of some jealous people, right? So they better kill their jealousy right away. It's an everlasting covenant of salt before the Lord for both you and your offspring. The Lord said to Aaron, you'll have no inheritance in their land, nor will you have any share among them. I'm your share and your inheritance among the Israelites. Well, that says it all. I chose you and you're mine. You don't need to bother with having a share of these people, these Levites. I'm going to give you everything that's mine. Everything that's mine is yours. That's exaltation, folks, because Aaron just went through it and Aaron continued to go through it. And the Lord has just said, this is the way it is now. I'm going to show them that you're mine. I give to the Levites all the tithes in Israel as their inheritance in return for the work they do while serving at the tent of meeting. So they get the tithes. From now on, the Israelites must not go near the tent of meeting, or they'll bear the consequences of their sin and they'll die. It's the Levites who are to do the work of the tent of meeting and bear the responsibility for any offenses they commit against it. This is a lasting ordinance for the generations to come. They will receive no inheritance among the Israelites. Instead, I give to the Levites as their inheritance the tithes that the Israelites present as an offering to the Lord. That's why I said concerning them, they will have no inheritance among the Israelites. In other words, they're also separate. Okay, but they're not Aaron or the priests. The Lord said to Moses, speak to the Levites and say to them, when you receive from the Israelites the tithe I give you as your inheritance, you must present a tenth of that tithe as the Lord's offering. Your offering will be reckoned to you as grain from the threshing floor or juice from the winepress. In this way, you'll also present an offering to the Lord for all the tithes you receive from the Israelites. So when they get the tithes, they have to cut out a tenth and give them to the Lord. From these tithes, you must give the Lord's portion to Aaron, the priest. So, wow. Okay, so their portion is the tithes, but they have to take a tenth of what they get and give it to Aaron. You must present as the Lord's portion the best and holiest part of everything given to you. So they have to take the best of what's their inheritance and give it to Aaron. Say to the Levites, when you present the best part, it'll be reckoned to you as the product of the threshing floor or the winepress. You and your households may eat the rest of it anywhere, for it's your wages for your work at the tent of meeting. By presenting the best part of it, you'll not be guilty in this matter. Then you will not defile the holy offerings of the Israelites, and you will not die. That's a parent being fair, because Aaron has had to go through this misery because of this lie that has been spoken. Numbers 19 and the last one for tonight. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, this is a requirement of the law that the Lord has commanded. Tell the Israelites to bring you a red heifer, that's a cow, without defect or blemish and that has never been under a yoke. Give it to Eleazar the priest. It's to be taken outside the camp and slaughtered in his presence. Then Eleazar the priest is to take some of its blood on his finger and sprinkle it 7 times towards the front of the tent of meeting. While he watches, the heifer is to be burned, its hide, flesh, blood, and intestines. The priest is to take some cedar wood, hyssop, and scarlet wool and throw them onto the burning heifer. After that, the priest must wash his clothes and bathe himself with water. He may then come into the camp, but he'll be ceremonially unclean till evening. The man who burns it must also wash his clothes and bathe with water, and he too will be unclean till evening. Now, this is interesting because Jesus was crucified outside the camp, outside the city, outside the gates of Jerusalem. And the scarlet thread, from what I remember, represents the blood of Christ. Okay, so this is all foreshadowing. If you understand writing, there's always foreshadowing. Okay, and that's what this is here. A man who's clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer and put them in a ceremonially clean place outside the camp. That might represent Jesus being put in the tomb of a rich man that had never been used before. They are to be kept by the Israelite community for use in the water, of cleansing. It's for purification from sin. And who does that? Jesus. The man who gathers up the ashes of the heifer must also wash his clothes, and he too will be unclean till evening. This will be a lasting ordinance both for the Israelites and for the foreigners residing among them. You can see that the Lord doesn't miss a trick, does he? He's got a plan, and he's laying it out. Right now, he's laying it out in front of the Israelites. Some things are a mystery. Some things will be revealed later. And then Jesus comes, and the same story is told. It's the same plan, okay? Whoever touches a human corpse will be unclean for 7 days. They must purify themselves with the water on the 3rd day and on the 7th day. Then they'll be clean. But if they don't purify themselves on the 3rd and 7th days, they will not be clean. If they fail to purify themselves after touching a human corpse, they defile the Lord's tabernacle. They must be cut off from Israel because the water of cleansing has not been sprinkled on them. They're unclean. Their uncleanness remains on them. This is the law that applies when a person dies in a tent. Anyone who enters the tent and anyone who's in it will be unclean for 7 days, and every open container without a lid fastened on it will be unclean. Anyone out in the open who touches someone who's been killed with a sword, or someone who's died a natural death, or anyone who touches a human bone or a grave will be unclean for 7 days. For the unclean person, put some ashes from the burned purification offering into a jar and pour fresh water over them. Then a man who's ceremonially clean is to take some hyssop, dip it in the water, and sprinkle the tent and all the furnishings and the people who were there. He must also sprinkle anyone who's touched a human bone or a grave, or anyone who's been killed, or anyone who's died a natural death. The man who's clean is to sprinkle those who are unclean on the 3rd and 7th days, and on the 7th day he's to purify them. Those who are being cleansed must wash their clothes and bathe with water, and that evening they'll be clean. But if those who are unclean don't purify themselves, they must be cut off from the community, because they've defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. The water of cleansing has not been sprinkled on them, and they're unclean. This is a lasting ordinance for them. The man who sprinkles the water of cleansing must also wash his clothes, and anyone who touches the water of cleansing will be unclean till evening. Anything that an unclean person touches becomes unclean, and anyone who touches it becomes unclean till evening. Okay, so that's the end of that. Let's look and see once again how many chapters are in Numbers, because I think we're coming up on the end, and then we're going to do Deuteronomy. 36 chapters. Okay, so we're a little more than halfway through. Tomorrow we'll pick it up at chapter 20. And take to heart what I was saying about lies do not last forever. They're not eternal. The truth is eternal. Lies aren't. So all the lies that you're hearing that drive you crazy are going to be dealt with at some time. And you see how little patience the Lord has for it. Matter of fact, if anything, Moses has begged the Lord a couple times to be patient, hasn't he? Okay, so, the Lord does get impatient with sin, especially when it keeps happening over and over. I mean, he's frustrated, just like we're frustrated hearing the same things over and over. It's enough to drive one crazy. I love you very much. Please keep praying, okay? I'll see you tomorrow. We'll pick it up at chapter 20. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.